What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're reacting to secret messages in Freddy's cartoons you miss. I'm guessing this. I'm guessing these are the cartoons that were, I don't know, shown during the whole uh thing before security breach. I'm thinking, because that's the only one that comes to mind when I hear this title. So yeah, that's a thing to think about. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess we're gonna find out. So, nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, hit the like button below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when a new video comes out. And yeah. If there's any videos you'd like to recommend, put it on in the comment section below, and I'll react to it as soon as possible. And the link to this video is going to be down in the description below. Also, be sure to give Twisted Animatronics some love and support for the video that they made. Now, with this all said, let's get right on into this video, shall we? Alright, so let's see what's going on here.
With Secret of the Mimics released just around the corner, they seem to be
Okay.
releasing mini-like episodic teasers, giving us
Oh.
hints and hidden messages to all of the upcoming game. And then
we're talking about those bits. Okay, that's pretty ironic. Seeing as how I reacted to that last week. Honestly, I kind of figured. But now I guess we're gonna see what it's really all about. Especially since the game came out just recently.
I thought, I remember this being a thing before. They did the same thing with the security breach in 2021. They released these mini cartoons of Freddy and his friends with hidden lore and messages in order to show us certain things and hidden secrets in the upcoming game, Security Breach at the time. I know, absolutely crazy, right? But the thing is, here, everyone seemingly either missed the lore in their messages, forgot about it, or failed to solve it completely. Well, that's not going to happen today, my friends, because we're going to be heading back, solving that hidden lore, and solving the hidden messages in the recent Secret of the Mimic teasers. And believe you me, this is going to blow your mind. But in order for us to solve the Secret of the Mimic teasers properly, we need to know what we missed in Freddy and Friends back in 2021. Now, Steelwool are no strangers to giving us lore in weird and fascinating ways. I mean, they created Game Jolt accounts to give us lore on the Pizzaplex via Gregory's diary logs. So don't think for a second they're not going to put hidden messages which we have to uncover in any of their teasers or past teasers. And if you want to know the hidden lore of the Game Jolt accounts, check out my other video after this. But now let's go back and look at the Freddy Fazbear and Friends cartoon they released in build up to Security Breach. And what did we actually miss there, and how is it going to help us in Secret of the Mimic? You see, if you're unaware, Freddy and Friends on Tour is a mini cartoon series made by Steelwool. The episodes basically released every 2 weeks starting from September the 7th, 2021 and ended on October the 19th. And the interesting thing here is each episode of Freddy and Friends followed a same general pattern. There was the trio, Freddy, Bonnie and Chica, and Foxy wasn't part of the gang at this point. You see, one of the three characters attempted to convince Foxy to join their band, only for him basically to raise his hook and scare the trio away. It basically leads to like a Scooby-Doo style chase sequence and ends with the trio unmasking Foxy to reveal his endoskeleton. You see, in each episode they hid a secret message and bits of lore along with the release date. Many people figured out the release date and left it at that, and left every other clue or hidden lore, secret, whatever you want to call it, completely unsolved. Because immediately I'd like to draw your attention to the show's name, Freddy and Friends on Tour. It's extremely similar to the 1983 cartoon we see in FNAF 4, you know, where the crying child is in front of the TV, and on the TV is Fredbear and Friends. Very similar to Freddy and Friends, right? And notice how these teasers have the 1980s/90s VHS effect? That's probably because this Freddy and Friends on Tour is the 1980s version. But that's odd because Security Breach is set way in the future, right? So someone is clearly rewatching these VHS tapes. Now in each one of these episodes, it kind of shows us a screen of one of the characters which is going to be in Security Breach. I mean, in the first episode, we see the Nightmare staff bots with a message which reads Alpha Z6 groups. And at the end of the show, we see what looks like static, and it took a while to work this one out, but it's not actually just static. We see the blob's tentacles move across the screen. There's a similar theme throughout every single episode. Episode 2, we see a shattered Montgomery Gator with a message saying Rev 531, with the ending clip showcasing Sun transforming into Moon. The third episode shows us a distorted image of shattered Glamrock Chica and a shattered Roxana Wolf, with Roxy's hidden message being Z2E, and then we see a DJ Music Man go past at the end of the episode. And the fourth episode involves a close-up of Vanny's face. She has yellow eyes here instead of the usual green. Now keep that in mind because that colour will be important later on. And then the final reveal to the final episode is Vanny getting extremely close to the screen asking, "Are you having fun yet?"
Are you having fun yet?
The entire episode is encased in a purple static with the occasional yellow and purple glitches.
Okay. I think I'm understanding where he's going with this one. So supposedly, maybe it's like the case of them actually watching or seeing these certain episodes. At least that's what I'm thinking when it comes to this. I don't know, bit hard to really give a proper idea, in all honesty, because that's the only one that really comes to mind when it comes to that, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Is arranged in a certain way, which basically makes up a render of Glitch Trap. Now the reason I bring up colour is because it's extremely important, believe it or not, in Steel Wool's storytelling, and that will come into play with the Secret of the Mimic teasers, because colour, again, for them, is very important. And not to mention FNAF as a whole. I mean, Purple Guy, Mustard Man, all these colours, colour theory is extremely important. Just before we move on, there's one more piece I'd like to talk about here, and that's at the very end of episode 1. You know, where you see the blob's tentacle move across the screen. Now in the background, you hear a piece of dialogue. At first you can't make it out, but if you reverse that dialogue, you hear this. You can hear someone in the background saying, "having fun." Now obviously that's a reference to Vanny, but the thing which seemingly everyone missed is who's actually watching this TV? Who's watching these old VHS tapes? I mean, they're from the 1980s, right? Way before anything. I mean, in FNAF 4 we see the crying child watching Freddy and Friends. Is it from that era? Is it from the Mimics era, the 1980s? Guess you're thinking, right? My mind started to wander then towards the mic room in the Pizzaplex. Could he have been sat down watching these tapes on his old TV? I mean, we literally see a recreation of his room, a TV and video player, and keep that in your minds because we'll come back to that later. For now, let's move on to the Secret of the Mimic teasers. You see, before Secret of the Mimic releases, by now you would have already known that they released these trailers.
That is a true thing. It would make sense if it was there of all places, but I'm doubting it for a reason or two.
And they've been doing so on a weekly basis. And throughout these teasers, there's clearly a common presence and theme. That is the presence of a family with interesting coloration going on here. Sure, there's lots to take in, you know, with the vacuum cleaner, the coffee maker, etc. But there's an overarching theme. Again, kind of reminds me of the tapes which we see Mike watching in Sister Location after every night. Similar type of vibe going on here. I mean, in Sister Location, we see a guy, literally a purple guy, in these new Secret of the Mimic trailers. We see a guy wearing purple in the early teasers. We also see a blonde woman in these teasers, which aligns with Clara, the lover of the purple guy in the Sister Location tapes. And let's not forget the common denominator, a kid. We have the three of them all there. A man with a bow tie, a woman with short blonde hair, and a kid. Now, this family could literally represent only three families in my eyes. The Aftons, that's obvious. The Emilys, kind of. Or the Murrays. I find it hard to believe it being Murrays, though, because we know David Edward's mother literally died during childbirth. Well, if we follow the book's lore anyway. But then again, I'd find it hard to believe that they'd be showing the Afton family in a game about the Mimic. I mean, Afton may have a family at this point. Maybe that's Mike as the baby. But let's continue on. Either way, these teasers are clearly showing us some type of family in the background, the animatronics being part of their lives. And as the teasers go on, you can kind of see the family dynamic develop. I mean, by the third teaser, you can see the father clearly being laid more back. He's reading some type of newspaper. The poor wife has got like 3 or 4 vacuums on the go, signifying and showing us she's overwhelmed, while the baby's playing on the floor, with the dad clearly being uninterested, exactly like William was with his family towards the end. Now, I'd like to point out here, the 4th teaser hasn't released yet, so it'd be interesting to see once this video releases, going back and seeing if the 4th teaser is literally the family falling apart, with obviously, again, animatronics intertwined. Now, I'm also well aware this could represent the Murrays. Edwin himself could just be depicting the family he wanted to have if his wife hadn't died in childbirth. I'm well aware of that fact, but the overarching story here, and the one I really want to tell, is who's the one watching these tapes? Steelwool created these tapes in 2021 for Security Breach, as if someone was watching them, again with a 1980s VHS feel, with the same name of the 1983 show which the Crying Child was watching. We've now got VHS style tapes again for Secret of the Mimic. We also have some screens shared throughout these teasers, one of them showing us the Mimic. What happens if this wasn't a flashed in screen, but a reflection of who was watching the TV? The Mimic was watching the TV all along. The Mimic potentially could have been watching the TV from the 2021 trailers which were released, watching Freddy Fazbear and Friends, and the Mimic's watching the TV again in the 1980s. This is how the Mimic was learning through the TV. And also the family we see during these teasers would make sense to be Afton's family. I mean, why else would they give him a purple bow tie? Are they going to give purple now to Edwin Murray? Or is it just purely coincidence here? I don't think so. Steel will have done this before. They've given us secret hidden messages and lore, which I've covered at the beginning of this video. They're not just randomly willy-nilly putting these things in here. There's meaning to everything they do. I believe these initial Freddy and Fazbear on tour VHS tapes were being watched by the Mimic. I also believe now the teasers we're getting for Secret of the Mimic are literally just the Mimic watching TV ads on his TV at home, hence the reflection we see.
I don't know about
hence
that
the
one.
screen of the Mimic and his eyes. That's actually a reflection of him watching it in the TV. This then would make it flow so much nicer. Why there was a 1980s cartoon for Security Breach. Okay, maybe the Mimic watching the cartoons in Security Breach is a bit of a stretch, but this is FNAF. I mean, come on. Either way, we missed their messages at the start, and we could be missing them now. So don't just simply dismiss this, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Could it be that the Mimic is the one watching these teasers back in the 1980s, and something Steel will try to tell us all along? I mean, they did try and tell us stuff via Game Jolt's accounts, remember? Which I did a video on, by the way, and I recommend watching after this. But let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. I read every single comment. And if you enjoyed this, hit the like button and subscribe, because there'll be plenty more Secret of the Mimic content coming out when it releases. Theories, gameplay, it's all going to be on there. And remember guys, this is just a theory, so no spewing hate or anything in the comments, right? Massive thanks to the Fazbear Entertainment members who are on screen now. Rena Fox.
Okay, so that's an interesting theory on the matter. Do I believe it's true? I mean, the fact that these characters were watching what was on the TV and just like and all that, I can actually see that. To say that they're all the Mimic though, I don't know. I mean, I get why he would think so, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Like, it's not, if it doesn't feel like the correct answer. Maybe that's just me and my doubt, because, well, I don't know, can you say for sure on that? It just feels like it. It just feels like it's not the right answer, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, Roxy and Monty, heck, even the Blob being a part of something that was before they were even conceived, that doesn't make sense. At least to me, it doesn't. It just feels too off, weird, incomplete. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, basically. And yeah, that's the only thing I can really say when it comes to the matter. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel and the content provider and so on and so forth. Other than that, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.